Introduce Moses Malone as his sponsor and legendary teammate from the Sixers, the Doctor, Julius Erving.
Thank you, Ahmad. Ladies and gentlemen, it certainly seems tonight as though Philadelphia is well represented in this house. With Temple University and the Philadelphia 76ers having their banners up there. It's really a pleasure for me to be here, too. I was born in Long Island back in 1950, and 18 years after that, in 1968, I came to this area and attended the University of Massachusetts. I was fortunate enough to become an All-American candidate and then an All-American, so Springfield, Massachusetts, and Western Massachusetts is where I was truly born again. Let me get to the reason that I'm here in this area. I've come here to sponsor Moses Malone, and Moses is Moses Malone. I mean, just think of it, the sound of that name. He had to get famous. There's no question about it. I mean, what a waste of a name if he didn't make it. Moses Malone. First laid eyes on him in 1974. He was a kid out of high school, and he had signed a contract with the Utah Stars of the ABA, and they came in to play my team in New York, the New York Nets. And I was asked by our ownership to welcome the kid to the league. Now, here I was, all of 23 years of age at the time, a kid myself, and I looked at him, tall, thin, agile, no hair on his face, looking like a young puppy. And I took a microphone, and I remember saying, well, kid, you've been swimming around in shallow ponds for a long time. Now it's time for you to step into the deep water of pro basketball, and I hope you could swim. And he just kind of smiled at me, that confident smile that he has. And Moses, as all of you know, has been talked about so much. He's not a man of a lot of words, but behind those eyes, there's a brilliant mind. And it stays a step ahead of most people most of the time. Well, I'm not going to tell you what happened that night, but I think I got a couple of shots blocked by that skinny kid. And certainly he proved, back in 1974, and for 21 years after that, 21 years as a professional, that he could truly, not only swim in the water, but he could do the backstroke, he could do the freestyle, he could do the butterfly, he could do the breaststroke. He could swim any way that people could swim. And I had 2 great years with him as a teammate, 2 years in which one of them became really, I guess, the defining year in my 16-year career because we won the NBA title that year. And and Moses was the key to the mint, that same Moses Malone. Before bringing him up here, there's 3 things I want to talk to you about regarding Moses and just share with you. One, I want to talk about his skills, just to keep this in the basketball frame. I want to talk about his skills because to this day, people who watch basketball on TV have never really seen the skills, the true skills of Moses Malone. I mean, there's that one highlight film, that they keep showing now on classic sports where, he grabs the rebound and looks for the outlet, doesn't find anybody, and he just kind of takes off with the ball. And he goes right, then he comes back left, and then somebody comes to steal it, and he does a complete turnaround, stumbling a little bit, and he's still handling it, and then he puts it over in his left hand, somebody else comes to steal it, a little between the legs, and he's making his way to the paint all the time, because that's where Moses wanted to go. He wanted to go to the paint. And he just kept going, and the 4 of us, we were just like watching the show too. So you have 5 guys trying to get the ball from him and 4 guys just watching. And he was going into his whole trick bag because he was determined to get to the hoop. And then he got all the way to the basket. And, of course, typical of Moses, missed the layup, got the rebound, and then put it back in. And but if you watched him, you know, for 2 years, and you watched him in practice, you watched him in pickup situations, or when you watched after practice, where he can go out to the three-point line and shoot line drive shots and make them. And I don't know, how many three-point shots did you make your whole career? Single figures, right? It's less than 10. Oh, Billy never let you shoot any there. You probably made a few down in Houston or one of those other teams. But, you know, he could shoot it if he had to. He could pass. He could do so many things with a basketball and from a skill standpoint. And I think the reason why is because he was such a great student of the game. He would see somebody do something, and this is one of the keys to him, you know, as a person right now. He would see something done, and something would click and register in his mind. He said, I can do that. And here he is, 6'10", you know, 250-something, and he might see Maurice Cheeks do something fancy with the ball. I could do that. And he'd go and do it. And in his own quiet way, you know, he'd work on it. He'd get it down pat. And then every now and then, when you least expect it, it might come out, you know, something that he's mastered and something that he's done. So it's a pleasure to talk about his skills. It's a greater pleasure to talk about his heart. You know, as a teammate for 2 years means that there were a lot of years when we weren't teammates. And believe me, when we weren't teammates, while he was with Utah and when he was with St. Louis, and particularly when he was with Houston, I really learned about the heart that Moses Malone has, because when we did our scouting reports, I mean, he was the first stop. We had to start there and figure out what we want to do with Moses Malone before we tried to figure out what we were going to do with anybody else that night. And no matter what you came up with, he would come out on the court and find some way to negate what you were trying to do, you know, through his work ethic, his energy, his effort, and his pure heart. You know, and nobody who has ever played the game has had the same tenacity that Moses Malone had. So it's a pleasure to talk about his skills, greater pleasure to talk about his heart. The greatest pleasure for me tonight is to talk about his mind. As I said before, Moses didn't say a lot, but I think Charles Barkley kind of said it the way it should have been said. And the scene is so surreal to me and to all the people who ever played with Moses. He'd come off the practice floor, or he'd come off the game floor, and he'd hit the shower. He'd be the first one into the shower, and he'd be the first one out, and he'd put that towel on, and then he'd take a seat. That was like his cool-down period. And he's sitting there in a centralized position, and everybody who came out of that shower after that, you know, Moses had a whole critique of what they had done that night. He said, Doc, you had such and such on you, and you should have taken him left more times, because he was all the way on your right hand. He'd tell Cheeks something, he'd tell Tony something. I mean, this guy is a genius in terms of his basketball mind. And that's no understatement. And my job, let me just get on to it, you know, because I'm so proud to have the privilege and the pleasure to have had Moses Malone as a teammate, as a co-captain, and now as a fellow Hall of Famer. So let me welcome Moses Malone.
Moses is escorted by his son, Moses Jr.
Moses Malone, your dominating long career and statistics speak adequately for themselves. You played the game with great enthusiasm, and tonight you formally join an elite club of dominant centers of all time. By vote of the Honors Committee, by the power vested in the Board of Trustees, it's a privilege to induct you as a player into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame with all rights and privileges. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yes, I am Moses Malone. You know, I got to thank Dr. J. I got to thank my son. I got to thank a lot of people. You know, being from a small town, Petersburg, Virginia, about 30,000 people, I never thought I would be here. You know, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to have a long speech like John Cheney did. But Mr. Cheney, he spoke so much, my words fade away. You know, people don't know me. You know, people always said, Moses, you know, you'd never talk to the press. I had a reason. I really did have a reason. And the reason was why I never talked to the press, because I always like to have my concentration when I'm about to play. You know, the press would come in there and say, well, Mr. Malone, how do you feel about tonight's game? I would say, well, you know, I really don't talk to the press. They said, for real? I said, I don't talk to the press. I said, you know, I got a job to do. I got to do it 110%. I said, you know, you got fans out here paying big dollar to see me perform. And that's the way I left it. But, you know, today, the chairman of the trustee, he told me and John and Mike, you know, it's hard to get in here. So I said to myself, Jay, it's hard to get in here. So I'm thinking. So I said, well, tonight is going to be an easy night for me because it's hard to get in here. So I come here tonight, I see hundreds of people. I see all the fans right here. And but it's a great opportunity to be able to come here tonight. But as an athlete, we never realize, you know, it's take help. Moses Malone didn't make it by himself. You know, people don't understand that. You know, you got the little guys. You know, you got the little guys never get credit for this. You always got the celebrity, Hall of Fame, NBA All-Star, but the guy that helped you get here needs some credit. You know, without the 1,000 players I played against, Moses Malone would not be here today because I need someone to give me the ball. And people don't understand. People, you know, people have been asking me for the last 3 months, Moses, what are you going to say? I said, yeah. I said, you know what? I retired in 1995, or 6 years. You know, back in 1995, I never thought I would be a Hall of Famer, but I did write a book. So now when I get here, I lost the book. So, you know, it's a tough decision. You know, following guys, coaches, all these greats Hall of Famer, and then all of a sudden you got a real basketball player up here. So, it's really tough. And if you can just think where Moses Malone came from, a small town, Petersburg, Virginia, people always say, well, this young man, about 6'10", would never make it But I was 6'10" with a lot of heart. And I took a lot of pride and determination to be the best. You know, I can remember the time that me and a friend used to go to the playground. We never partied. I never go out. I just go to the playground. We just go to the playground and just play basketball all night. Just had one street light. No, in the dark. Just shooting the ball. Playing full court. You know, running down there just shooting the ball, me and my buddy. And always had a buddy, always used to come and tell me, sir. You know, he just called me Teeny. That's my nickname. Now y'all know my nickname. He said, Teeny. He said, man, you good. You good. You really good. He said, one day, man, you're going to be worth $1 million. I said, yeah, man. I said, you joking about that? I said, $1 million bucks? He said, yeah, you'll be worth $1 million. So I never gave it no thought because I never thought that I would be an NBA ball player. You know, I never thought that I would be a 12-time NBA All-Star. I never thought I would be one of the 50 greatest players of all time. You know? You know, I can look back at my childhood with just me and my mother, the way she brought me up. You know, a poor young man like me. But what people got to realize, that basketball is not an individual sport. Basketball is a team sport. Now, if you said that I'm a tennis player, I'm a golfer, now that's an individual sport. Because now you got to play for yourself. But as a team, you got 12 more guys on your team that you got to be able to play with. And my goal was for them to make me the best and me to work with them. I came as a player, not as a superstar, because I still don't understand that word. What is a superstar? You know, you got kids out here today on the playground. It's a superstar. But I'm still the same old Moses Malone. You know, only one person that don't change, and that's Christ. See, y'all can look at me, think I might have changed. I hadn't changed. People change you. You know, you started me 19 years in the NBA, 2 years in the NBA. You know, fans make players. Fans make you. I don't, you know, y'all make me. Y'all tell me how good I am. I can't tell myself because I don't know. Because I tell myself, then I would never be good. Because once you establish yourself that you're that great ball player, you're not going to work for the effort to get better. And I've never done that. Because I could come home one night and someone said, Moses, you know, you had a great game. I said, well, not really. Because tomorrow I got to play again. You know, I remember one thing about Coach Billy Cunningham, Coach Cunningham. You know, me and Andrew Tony, so, you know, we ran this play for Doc. And I know, better know the play than I know the play. So the play was like C3. So, you know, I'm the type of guy, I want the ball. So I told Andrew, I said, Andrew, I said, look here. I said, look, Billy had just ran this play for Doc, C3. Andrew said, yeah. I said, look, let's do this. Let's run a C5. So Doc, so I remember Doc come down the floor, and I'm sitting on the block. So Doc, he come around me. I'm still sitting on the block. Doc come around me again. He looked at me. I'm still sitting on the block. So he figured out it's about time for me to move. So Doc went to the other side, and Marv Reese, he swung the ball to Andrew. And know what Andrew did? Andrew threw it into me. And I told Andrew before we did that, I said, look, man, if I missed the shot, you don't have to come back to me. So Andrew said, okay. So we broke the play. You know, we do it. We broke the play. So Andrew threw it to me. I turned around and missed the shot. Oh, man. Oh, you got to see the coach. You know, Billy, you got to see Billy. Billy was standing like this here. So me and Andrew came to the bench. So Billy said, Andrew, what play did I tell you to run? Andrew said, well, Coach, you told me to run 3C for Doc. He said, what happened? He said, well, Moses told me to run 5C. And then Billy said, Andrew, if Moses tell you to jump up a building, will you jump up the building? And then from that point, you know, Billy was a great coach. You know, Billy was a coach that, you got a lot of other coaches. You know, I like all my coaches, but sometimes they play me, sometimes they don't. You know, I could have had more than 29,000 points. you get, but the main thing I want to do, I want to thank all the team that gave me an opportunity to play for them. Because without them 9 or 10 teams that I played for, you think Moses Malone would be here? No way. And I want to thank all my players. You know, I got some friends like that. You know, I got some friends. People don't believe me. This is me. This is how I am. You know, coach, I remember when I first came out of high school, I'm in Virginia, 18 years old. I can't sign a contract. So they brought me across the line to Washington, D.C. So I signed the contract, I figured, well, I got some big money now. I can move my mother and I enjoy life. So, and Coach Lexi Desire, he came to me. He said, well, I just left the University of Maryland. He wasn't upset because John Lucas was the one driving me around the car. So, but Coach was not upset. So he said, well, I want you to meet someone. I want you to turn you into an agent. And I said, yeah. He said, this guy's good. This guy's good. Now, I was 18 years old. I was 18. That's okay, fine. So I met this agent named Lee Frenchry. And Howard White, Howard White, he was coming to recruit me when I was in high school. And every time he said to me and my mother, 4-bedroom house, he'll fall asleep on the couch. Now, Howard could never say a word, he'd be asleep. So I met this agent named Lee Frenchry. So, people can't believe it today, but you got to have trust in someone. You got to believe in someone. This man had been like a father to me. I can get on the phone with him, would never have problem with him. He'll never have problem with me. We'll always agree on things. Our love for Mr. Lee Frenchry to stand up. I've been with him for 28 years. I've been with him for 28 years. And people, when I like a person, and when I like someone, I will stick with him. The same about Howard White. Howard a big-time guy with Nike. Howard one of my friends. I got a lot of buddies like that. Kelly, he ain't my buddy. No, that's not my buddy. I got my son named Moses Malone, Jr. As today right now, he think he's a better ball player than me. This guy one day, I had a sportsmanship trophy in high school, and I asked him, I said, man, do you want my sportsmanship trophy? He said, no way. He said, I'll get my own. So, well, he got attitude to play, and I got another son named Michael Malone. He loved football for some reason. I'm trying to tell him, man, the money in basketball. But, he wanted to be a strong man. He wanted to be a wide receiver. But my friends, I got Howard White, Kevin, Major Jones, Bruce, Gilson, where the rest of my buddies at? I can't see them for some reason. But they back there. And another thing, it's, I'm sweating up here, because I'm 6'10" near the lights. So, and I got on this black suit. I want to thank the 76ers for giving me the opportunity in '83 to be able to come there and play on a team with Urban, Andrew Toney, Marbury Chief, and Bobby Jones. I want to thank, the little things that go on, people never understand, but, you got to try to teach young guys what it's about. When Shaq and Kobe had problems, they think it's Shaq and Kobe, but, when I came to the team, this is how press do it. A press would, this press do it, they know what they write. When I came to the team, they want to make a big thing. Moses Malone, who team is this? I said, who team is this? I said, man, it's Dr. J team. Moses is part of the puzzle. So y'all got to understand that. So when I come to play to win. My thing is winning. I don't like to lose. I play, I need to thank the team like Atlanta Hawks, Houston Rockets, Milwaukee, San Antonio, so Washington, because they gave me the opportunity to play. And I need to thank the general managers and the owners, because they gave me the opportunity to play for their team. And without them, and I probably never had the opportunity. And when people look at me, and somebody says something about, I throw the ball against the backboard and get a rebound. I never thought like that. Because I figured if I thought like that, the guys that I'm playing against really can't play the game. But I respect all players, all ages. I respect all players. Because, I never thought I was the best. I never thought I was a superstar. People walk around and say, well, Mr. Malone, you're a celebrity. I'm still trying to figure out what that word means. Well, what is a celebrity? We don't understand. You got engineers, you got doctors, you got people that doing things better than we doing, but you never heard them about them. Because we athletes, we in the news. Any little thing that go down, it's on us. You got hot, doctors out here saving life. You got people out here doing charity work, helping people, but you never heard them about them. Because you know why? It's the small people in real life. It's just like basketball. Basketball, you got 5, 10 guys, they never going to be the player that the superstar. Now, if I'm on the team, you got 3 guys, I'm a superstar. The rest of the guys, what are these guys? To me, they the player that made me what I am. Because without them, Mr. Malone would not be here. And I want to thank the committee for voting me in as a Hall of Famer. Just like a little bitty baby. 19 years in the NBA, I'm laying on my back, drinking milk. See, one thing about a baby, laying on your back drinking milk in the league. Now, all of a sudden, I retired in 1995. I started crawling. Okay? Now, I crawl. Now, next thing a baby do is stand up. So now I'm standing up. So what I'm going to do, the next thing a baby do is take that walk, take that first step. So I'm going to thank y'all for letting me be involved in this Hall of Fame. I'm going to take that first walk into the Hall of Fame. Thank you.